What if everything you thought you knew about ancient North America was wrong? Scattered across this continent are towering stone structures, built with an almost unbelievable precision, and they predate Columbus by millennia. Who were the master builders behind these colossal megaliths? And what secrets do they hold about forgotten civilizations right here, under our feet? Today, we're embarking on a journey to uncover these hidden giants. Forget what you've seen in standard history books. We're venturing into a past that is far grander, more complex, and infinitely more mysterious than we've been led to believe. From dramatic, unexplained rock formations to meticulously arranged standing stones, these structures challenge our understanding of the ancient world. So, prepare to have your mind opened as we unearth the true purpose and incredible construction of these forgotten wonders. The first, most pressing question is, who built these megaliths? This isn't just a simple historical query. It's a hornet's nest of academic debate, controversial theories, and deeply held beliefs. The mainstream narrative often attributes many ancient structures to natural formations or dismisses them as colonial-era constructions. But when you look closer, that explanation starts to fall apart. Let's take a look at a site like Callender 2 in Vermont. Here, a complex arrangement of standing stones seems to track solar and lunar events with astonishing accuracy. Or consider America's Stonehenge, formerly known as Mystery Hill in New Hampshire. This sprawling complex features chambers, walls, and standing stones that have baffled researchers for decades. Radiocarbon dating of charcoal found at the site suggests human activity dating back thousands of years. Could these be the work of a lost culture, or perhaps seafaring visitors from the old world, as some fringe theories propose? The academic community is divided. Some archaeologists argue for indigenous origins, suggesting these sites are the work of sophisticated Native American cultures whose stoneworking traditions have been underestimated or forgotten. They point to the rich oral histories of many tribes, which often speak of stone giants, or ancestors who possessed the ability to move massive rocks. These traditions, passed down through countless generations, could hold the key. For example, some Native American elders speak of a time when their people understood the language of the stones and the energies of the earth. Could these megalithic sites be the physical manifestation of that ancient spiritual technology? Then there are the more controversial theories. Some researchers draw parallels between North American sites and megalithic structures in Europe, like those in Ireland or Portugal. They suggest the possibility of transatlantic contact, long before Columbus, by groups like the Phoenicians, Goths, or even Vikings, who brought their stone-building traditions with them. While this idea is often dismissed by mainstream archaeology, the similarities in construction styles and astronomical alignments are, for some, too striking to ignore. The debate rages on, leaving us with a profound mystery. Who were these architects of the unknown? But the who is only half the puzzle. The other, equally fascinating question is why. Why would ancient people invest such a colossal amount of effort to quarry, transport, and erect these massive stones? When we look beyond the visible stones and delve into their arrangement, patterns begin to emerge. One of the most compelling theories is that many of these sites served as sophisticated astronomical observatories. Take the Gunjawam complex in Connecticut. It features stone chambers and standing stones that appear to align perfectly with the equinoxes and solstices. Imagine ancient people gathering at these sites, watching the sun rise or set through a perfectly placed stone window on the shortest day of the year. This wasn't just casual stargazing. This was a way to track time, predict seasonal changes for agriculture, and to anchor their entire cosmology and ritual calendar to the heavens. These sites were clocks, calendars, and sacred temples, all rolled into one. The sky was their guidebook, and the stones were the pages on which its story was written. Beyond astronomy, other hypotheses suggest these megaliths served a variety of purposes. Some could have been powerful spiritual centers, places for rituals, ceremonies, and connecting with the spirit world. The very act of building such a monument would have been a massive community effort, a ritual in itself, binding people together through shared purpose and belief. Think of them as open-air cathedrals, places where the veil between the physical and spiritual worlds was considered thin. Others might have functioned as territorial markers, bold declarations of a tribe's presence and power, visible for miles around. In a landscape without modern maps, these giant stone sentinels would have been unmistakable landmarks. Some structures, with their thick walls and defensible positions, even suggest a military or protective function. The truth is likely a combination of all these things. These weren't single-purpose structures. They were the multifunctional hearts of their communities, blending the practical with the sacred. Sometimes, the stones themselves hold clues, faintly carved symbols, strange markings, or unique quartz veins that seem intentionally oriented. Each detail whispers a story, hinting at a purpose we are only just beginning to unravel. Now, let's talk about the sheer engineering marvel of it all. How did they do it? When you stand next to some of these megaliths, some weighing dozens, if not hundreds, of tons, you can't help but be humbled. You have to remember, these builders worked without steel tools, without cranes, without any of the powered machinery we rely on today. So how did they quarry these enormous blocks from the bedrock? How did they transport them, sometimes over miles of difficult terrain? The logistics are staggering. Archaeologists propose they use techniques like levering with massive timbers, rolling on logs, and pulling with large teams of people using ropes made of animal hide or plant fiber. Another technique might have involved using fire and water to crack the stone along natural fault lines. They would heat the rock with intense fires, then douse it with cold water, causing it to fracture. It was a slow, laborious, and incredibly dangerous process that required immense knowledge of physics, geology, and logistics. It also required an extraordinary level of social organization to coordinate the hundreds of people needed for such a project. When we compare these North American sites to global examples like Stonehenge in England or the Karnak stones in France, we see a shared human impulse, a drive to create something permanent, something that connects heaven and earth. The engineering challenges were universal, and the solutions, speak to a common ingenuity that transcends continents and cultures. The mystery isn't just that they built them, it's how they mastered their environment with such simple tools to achieve such monumental results. So, what does all this mean? What do these echoes of a lost world tell us about the continent's past? They tell us that the history of ancient North America is far richer, older, and more complex than we've been taught. They point to the existence of sophisticated, organized societies with advanced knowledge of engineering, astronomy, and art, long before the arrival of Europeans. These stones are the surviving monuments of a forgotten chapter of human history. They challenge us to rethink our timelines, and to give more credit to the indigenous civilizations of this land. These megaliths are not just piles of rock. They are invaluable archaeological treasures, a library of unread books written in the language of stone. And right now, many of these sites are unprotected, vulnerable to development, vandalism, and the simple decay of time. There is a desperate need for more research, more funding, and more public awareness to explore and preserve these places before their secrets are lost forever. We are left standing at the edge of a great mystery. The architects of these stone wonders remain silent, their voices lost to the ages, but their legacy endures, etched into the landscape, waiting for us to listen. They leave us with a profound sense of wonder and a question that will continue to inspire explorers and researchers for generations to come. What were they, and what else have we yet to find? Thank you so much for joining me on this incredible journey into North America's hidden past. If you found this as fascinating as I do, please hit that like button and consider subscribing for more deep dives into history's greatest mysteries. Let me know in the comments which of these sites you find the most intriguing. Until next time, keep questioning.